Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be giving you some positioning, just easy ones that you can do as a main tank. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Basically on this part, just you and the off tank need to chain in these as quick as possible, and then talons them down. Also, one of your tanks will grab the Shadow Guard and stack them right on top of the Suneater, and your other tank will stack the Dreadstalker in the group as well. Once the Suneater's dead, you just want to stack both of them on top of each other again. Kill them as quick as possible. Usually you only do like one Warhorn right here. You'll be fine. Usually no ultis either. Use that for the Suneaters. Use the ultis for the Suneaters. We're big ad pools. For this one right here, off tank's going to go over there and pop his Warhorn for that Suneater. And while the main tank is going to come over here and grab the Dreadstalkers and the Shadow Guards. Make sure you taunt both of them. And then about this position right here is probably the best, because as soon as they come up, you're looking good, and they're going to be exactly where they need to be. And then just try and Alkosh, and usually about this time would be your Warhorn. Try and get your Alkosh and try and hit the enemies as much as possible. Now on this part, you're going to get both Dreadstalkers and the Shadow Guard. And about here should be sufficient enough as far as line of sighting them. And then once the Suneater is dead, you can come back and make sure that they're still facing away from the group as much as possible. It's kind of a pain in the ass because everybody's going to be all over the place. Once he's dead, he'll be good to go. Now this boss is pretty easy, but it just takes a little bit more of like coordination as far as the main tank and off tank, as far as like swapping boss taunts and things like that. So right now everybody's getting ready to start throwing down their dots and whatnot. You're already ready to take them. So the skills I'm using, they're pretty standard. I did a video on it, so if you want to check that out, you can, and you already see what skills I'm using. You see that I got an Alkosh right there? I got two of them, and they're both the same energy. The same synergy. Just want to wait. You don't want to hit them immediately one after another unless it's going to die extremely quick. Then it's fine. So I moved them back just a tad because we were stacked a little bit right there, and you don't want to be stacked up with the melee that close, because if he throws curses out, then you're gonna get hit with it. So as far as the cats go, your off tank should be grabbing them, and you just swap taunts or swap bars if you can, and grab a talons. So you see me igneous a lot. Basically why I'm doing that is every time he goes to hit me, I'm throwing down igneous. Mainly the reason why is just to help out the healers a little bit. That way I don't have to really concentrate on me as much, because every time I get hit, I'm getting healed a little bit for it. And you see me trying to keep up heroic slash as much as I can. And you want to do your Warhorns pretty regularly. About every 20 to 15 seconds you want to try and do your Warhorns here. Now in this part, you want to, once you get behind the pillars and there's cats next to you, you want to talons them in and then roll dodge through as soon as that thing explodes. That way, if it's close enough, that way you can roll dodge right through the boss and get him in the same position he was. Now the cats come out every 20%, so it's going to be 80%, 60%, 40%, and 20%. So the cats just spawned. You just want to still just try and keep the boss here as much as possible. Help chain in only when the boss is not attacking. So after he does like his pillar phase, like once he does like a pillar throw, you'll want to do that. But other than that, you don't really want to do that. So I had got cursed. And I had let the off tank know, but he had got cursed at the same time. So. Alright, and he had let me know to grab the boss back. So that I did. He's gonna do his pillar phase. Everybody get behind pillars. Pretty self-explanatory. It's just a super easy fight if you guys have enough DPS and decent support. Everybody can get by doing this with about 35 DPS, even 33. So right there, he had called out pad 1. But I had called out pad 1 before, I believe. Anyways, regardless, tanks should always get pad 1 and 6. And you see that as soon as like I didn't go in directly and grab the boss immediately, because I just knew that he threw pillars out and that the curses were gonna come out almost immediately. So that's why I had stopped for a second, waited to see if the off tank was gonna get cursed. And that time we just burned the boss. Alright, so the next phase, you're gonna have a few ads here. Basically, main tank is gonna get the renderers, and then the off tank usually gets the shamans. As far as this pool goes, you really kind of want to wait for everybody, and the reason why is so that you can build ultis up on this ad and then just ulti bomb the next 2-3 ends. So right now, going over a little bit over the mechanics and whatnot and what we're doing, just kind of making sure, because since nobody has done this trial really in about 6-7 months, other than myself and Not Easy, Yahoo, and Bezels and DJ and Moint that I know of. So we're just kind of going over a few things. So right now, when the ads come, obviously you're gonna taunt them, and then you're gonna try and taunt all these. Now it's not always gonna work, but if the DPS, like sometimes they do go for the DPS, and if all you do is just taunt them, throw them a taunt, or just attack them, whatever, they'll come to you. So you want to grab both of the Dreadstalkers and the Shadow Guard, and then run about right here, and just kind of wait for the other Dreadstalker to come. We got fortunate in the Suneater move to me for some reason. So that was actually kind of cool, and it actually wasn't that bad, but it's not really intended for it to go like that. So as far as the Alkosh goes, remember it's a cone. It's not like deep breath. Every time I hit deep breath, the after effect does the AoE around me. Just know that Alkosh doesn't do that. It's a cone in front of you. So right here, you want to highlight the renderer. Get that taunt on him as quick as possible. And then highlight him. I don't know if I said that before, but you want to highlight him. And the reason why is because you're going to have to bash him. And the reason why is because you see the move he's doing there. He's like throwing his arms back. The reason why is that it knocks everybody back. And the shaman kind of buffs him. So you really wanna take that down, or else you'll be getting hit with it. So this port, just grab the Shadow Guard, grab the Dreadstalker. You can kind of chain these ads in as kind of close as you can, but they're already kind of close anyways. They'll get nuked by a Destra ulti or something if something's dropped, like there was one now. Usually the Savage is last one left, and if it is, and it's about 50% or so, you can take off running as a main tank to spawn this. Help out quite a bit. Of course, you want to taunt the renderer. Just kind of get them away from everybody, and just kind of stack them over here where the next sun you're just gonna spawn. You'll be fine. And as soon as the other group kills the one in the cave, they'll be coming over here, killing the renderer. This is more of like a build ulti session right here, and then they'll nuke the Sun Eaters. So it'd be my horn here on the Sun Eater. Then you want to run and grab the Shadow card, and then the Dread Stalker, and just honestly kind of position them over here. And again, he had moved. He wouldn't normally be there, but he had moved just a 10. You can grab him immediately, and that's totally fine. So the next part, we split the ad pools. So I would get the renderer here and the shaman here, and then again you want to highlight your renderer. And the same reason why, when he starts to scream here in about a few seconds, you're gonna want to bash it. And actually on this next part, there's gonna be a renderer, shaman, dreadstalker, savage, and a Sun Eater. So again, you want to highlight him, taunt him, highlight. You honestly want to taunt out both of them and highlight them. See right there, I had bashed, but of course the game's, the game is what it is sometimes. Now, if you're stuck in the highlight where it's highlighted, just look away from everybody, and then click in that right thumbstick again to let go of that highlight on everybody. So in this, you just want to face them as away from people as you can. On that part right there, I just wanted to hit them with a Fuse Crusher, and I was trying to taunt the Dreadstalker here, but he ended up getting hit by the damn Sun Eater. And of course, I kept taunting the ads that were all around, and I had finally got him. But you want to keep him. You want to keep these guys right here. And this goes back to why balance is a really good skill. So I already know that I have a healer on me and a healer on the other group, and it works really well because it gave me enough time to use the balance skill to gain magicka and just keep popping that igneous repeatedly so that I would have stam. Now if I didn't have magic recovery and I didn't have balance, I honestly might have got knocked around a few times. Another thing that I didn't do is I'm trying to show you guys that you guys can still permablock for a while. But it's not needed. What you want to do on that part is honestly let go of your guard and wait for the Dreadstalkers to do a heavy attack. Once they do a heavy attack, you're good to hold your block on both of them, and then continue to do your heavy attacks. That way you gain that stam back, and you'll gain a lot of stam. So if you heavy attack and then pop it igneous, you'll get that much more stam back. Now this part, we're just focusing up and just trying to get our side situated, making sure that we have 6. Of course, you see that one person in the ground. We just decided to roll with it. This was about 12 o'clock at night when we had done this. But the gear that I'm running is Ebon and Alkosh. Nothing special. I have 1 magic recovery. I actually have 2 magic recovery glyphs on my jewelry, and then 1 shield play. So we pull them down, and we're gonna stack them right in the middle. And you see that Alkosh? You want to try and hit both of them, because when they do not have, when nobody is assigned a color, they take more damage. Okay. So when I grabbed him. When I grabbed Skin Ryan, I grabbed his ad. I wanted to angle him so that Skinrai's ad is behind me and Skinrai is in front of me. And the reason why I angled him like this is because if Skinrai and his ad is right next to each other facing me, they move Skinrai around a lot, and Skinrai does a cleave. And you see the way he's doing his attack, like this one right there, his heavy attack is on the cleave, but this one right here obviously is cleave, and it's in the cleave skill line of the two-hand. So at this point you want to rotate sides. And see, you can initially go in the center. You don't always want to go far right side or far left side. It's totally situational. And then of course we don't have no magic of DKs to chain. So you just kind of want to try and position yourself so that way you can chain. And of course, just make sure that you taunt your ads so that they don't go to the opposite side, and that way they don't hit the other opposite side. Because if I have Skinrai's head color right now, right, and Skinrai ads comes and hits me, I'm gonna take more damage from him than I will from Vashai. It's really weird that way. It's like you can't damage them, but they do more damage. And see, Vashai's right there, and since you have Skinrai's head, you want to stay. Now we're doing the stay method, and we're not doing the go home. It's a little bit easier to teach. So if you guys feel like doing it, that's what I suggest. If you guys are still new to join trials, or if you're new to mall, or if you just kind of want something different, it's a perfect way to do it. Now in this part, you just want to taunt all your ads. You don't have to chain them in as far as Skinrai goes, because you're gonna have to reapply the taunt anyway. So it's just best to taunt. So in this part, all you're doing is once you get your bashes, you're gonna Igneous up, heroic slash them, and just basically do what you can to mitigate the damage that's incoming. And also deep breath the ads if they're beaming some of your friends, your teammates, whatever. This part we're staying again. Alkosh the boss. Alkosh the boss. Make sure you go and get that taunt before the prayer happens. And you can reapply the taunt, totally fine. So at this point we're at 25% and 13%, I believe, if not 10% on the other boss. I thought we were still gonna kill the ads, so when he threw that negate down, I was gonna move Vashai around the negate to grab the other ads, and I still didn't even know that Vashai was dead or Skinrai was dead. Nobody had called anything out. They were just like, all right, now kill a boss. So I was like, oh, okay. Then now I just had noticed just now that all of them were dead and all the ads were here. So then I decided to pop my horn and move a shot out of the way so that everybody could try and get a hit on him. And of course he kept throwing negates like crazy for some reason, but whatever. Out of stam, not a big issue. That's why you have feelers for. And it looks like somebody's getting beamed. And of course he does another negate. We end up getting the kill. It was a little rough, but towards the end. But just want to keep your cool as much as you can. Don't try and overreact or anything like that. Don't try and do more than you need to. I just tried to do what I could with what I had. I had little stam, so I couldn't dodge roll. I couldn't get stam back because I kept getting negated. So I just tried to, all I tried to do was just basically try and position them so that the negates wouldn't pop in weird places. But unfortunately, it did happen that way. So honestly, there's nothing you can do about it. So at this point, I thought my off tank said he had rapids on. So I go to start looking for a skill to put on. Now at this point you could put on, if your off tank doesn't have rapids on, then you could put on invigorating drain. And basically all it's going to do is just going to get your ultimate back quicker. That's the only reason why you use it. It does a little bit of healing, but whatever. But then I heard him, he said he doesn't have it because I think he said he was going to put on guard or something. But anyways, yeah, on this part you want to pop rapids. But of course our DPS decided to keep attacking while that was out, while rapids were out. On this part, you just want to run in a circle. What we do is we run clockwise. And I noticed that the cats were going away, and that I had an orb there, so I decided to try and Alkosh the cat as quick as possible. Here we're just gonna chain the cat numerous times, just kind of. Honestly, if you notice sometimes when you do this, it pulls the cat towards you. So you want to be kind of at max distance for that. Because if he does pull it with you, when you pull it, he comes towards you. You want to kind of be far enough away because he will aggro back to the person that has the mark on him. So in this part, you're going to grab both Dreadstalkers and you're going to stack them on top of each other, and I'll show you how to do that. The first Dreadstalker is going to spawn here, and it's going to go Suneater, Savage, and then Dreadstalker. So you're going to grab. Okay, so this is what's happening. True is showing them how we're going to do the cats since nobody's been in here for a long time. When we start in the center, we just go clockwise. Nothing too big. So I put Invigorating Drain on since we don't need rapids anymore. And honestly, it's a waste of stam when you're constantly getting hit or you're applying something to the enemy. So you just want to come up here and stack right here. You can home block, you can not home block, whatever. Totally up to you. I use absorb. It absorbs some of the things at it. There you go. You just want to hit this Alkosh, and I mean things as in projectiles. Heals you a little bit. Just want to try and get those Alkosh to hit as much enemies as possible. So in this part, you're gonna get both Shadow Guards, and this is for the main tank. These pulls are for the main tank, but we're stuck in a negate. Have really good healers, so they ended up getting us. Even if a negate comes that way, you just roll dodge. Just make sure you have stam. Just make sure you keep those Shadow Guards in there. Now, if you do the pull where you don't keep the Shadow Guards in the group, you can take them and hold them on the opposite side of the map in here, and that way that the Savage and the two Shadow Guards are outside of the damage. That way that if they do their spinning attack like they just did, they won't one-shot anybody if somebody gets shattered. So if you have not so experienced tanks or you're not that experienced, this is the best time, or just not that experienced DPS, then you can just take them out of the group and be fine. Our off tank is actually pretty good at dodging the savages. Here and there he misses some, but it's not tremendous that he's not always getting shattered. And this port, obviously, you just have somebody count it down, pulling in 3, 2, 1, just to kind of give everybody a heads up. Pulls them, and on this one, it's just the Dreadstalker and the Shadow Guard and the Suneater. You just want to position the Shadow Guard in between the Suneater and the Dreadstalker, but we get kind of lucky with these placements on the Suneater, as far as the Suneater just happens to move all the time. Kind of helped us out. So of course on this part, their off tank needs to grab the Dreadstalker on the far side and pull him in on top of the Suneater, and you're gonna take the other Dreadstalker, face him away from the group, and take the other Shadow Guards and stack them. On this one, it's one Dreadstalker and one Savage. So you're gonna take the Dreadstalker. You're gonna taunt that. You're gonna taunt that Dreadstalker. You're gonna taunt all three Dreadstalkers. Jesus, I'm all over the place. And then you're gonna taunt the Shadow Guard, and you're gonna kind of move about this far away, and that way that the Dreadstalkers stack. You see how kind of close they are. Now I was gonna try and move this dude, but I called out the health on the Dreadstalker, and he said almost dead. So you just want to stack everything on the highest health. That's how you can tell where you want to stack things. You want to stack everything on the highest health. So this pull here is a little bit confusing to some tanks and some healers and some DPS on what to do and what not to do. But on the first pull, you're going to have one Dreadstalker, one Savage, one Suneater, and one Shadow Guard. The next pull, you'll have two Suneaters, two Shadow Guards, and one Dreadstalker. So as you can see, we're just waiting for everybody to get in. It's really important that you want to wait for everybody to get in. And the reason why is because if somebody pops in and they're in a loading screen, it's gonna mess up the entire pool, because that person that is not inside that person that is not out of the loading screen may get attacked by something and die. Then you're out of DPS. Then basically you're out 2 DPS, because you have one that's healing, or one that's rezzing, and then one that's down. So right here, you just want to taunt that Dreadstalker, taunt the Shadow Guard, and just go into that corner. And the reason why is because there is a Suneater that spawns about right here, and that's where you want to stack them. The reason why that one DPS died is because they got shattered, and then the Shadow Guard did his spin attack. And if you're shattered and you do that spin attack, then it's pretty much done. So in this one right here, I always grab the Dreadstalker, the Savage, and I taunt the Suneater. But I guess true, I taunt the Suneater again. But anyways, you want to put them in the same spot so that they can dash your ultis here. So in this part right here, you want to keep that Dreadstalker away from the group and dodge the that attack right there that he just did, where he pulls his mace over his left side in his right hand, and then he goes downward in a downward motion, like that move right there. Other than that, you dodge that. That's what the shatter is. So I grab the Dreadstalker, the Shadow Guard, and the other Dreadstalker. And you just kind of come back to the door. I had froze. Just don't overreact. Just hold your block up and keep moving sideways. The reason why is because the Dreadstalker puts a dot on you if you get hit by his arrow spray. So I had popped my horn right there just to kind of help the damage out a little bit, since I don't believe we had one. Drew ended up taunting the Suneater and moving it down some. I'm not sure why he did it that way. He should have put it inside the group. Usually I do taunt the Suneater and move him into the group, but just to kind of help get everything stacked and everything die at once. And then I had froze again while I was using Invigorating Drain. And all you want to do is just, honestly, just hold block and then keep spamming Igneous. It helps out you and the group. Alright, so I'm not going to show you this. Just going to go right into the boss fight. We usually count it down. We usually say we're going to count it down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And at 1, I usually puncture him. Heavy attack puncture. And then I try and get as much Alkosh as I can off. And then I still try and hit that heroic slash, which I just got off if you see that 3k. And then I taunted him again at 1600. If you spam your synergy button, you'll be able to get him, to get another Alkosh going. So in this one right here, I'm not told him block hardly at any. You gotta just try and get that Alkosh as much as you can. You can re-taunt him. Get that Alkosh going. Pop a few Igneous. This is my Warhorn. Make sure you bash him on that move right there. Right here, you want to call out Meteors. That's what's happening. And then everybody call out block. Basically, anytime he goes in the air, he's gonna either gust or come at you. You can re-taunt, and this is a good place to position the Hulk, just so that you can turn and you can Alkosh them both at the same time. Right here, this is machine gun, is what we call it. You can call it Gatling gun, whatever. Basically, what you want to do is you want to taunt them heroic / igneous, and then you want to do absorb magic 4 to 5 times. This is on you. He had said to take the Hulk, but he ended up dying, and then that's a block. Meteors again coming out. You see how I'm not spamming Alkosh immediately? You kind of want to keep a really good uptime on it, so that way it's like it always constantly up. So now that shards and orbs they share the same cooldown and synergy. That's why you don't want to keep like just spamming it unless you need like that good amount of damage. So when he jumps up in the air and he flaps his wings a few times and pulls his arms back, that's when you want to call block. Basically when he's up there in a few. Basically the only time you want to call block when he's up in the air if he is not CCing you. Because if he jumps at you anytime, he's gonna CC you. See what I mean? Try and get as much Alkosh going as you can. You call meteors again. And when you get meteors, you just want to go in a half moon circle. And then you taunt the Hulk just one time. And then just make like a little hook shape. And then when you come back around, you'll be able to taunt the boss. And then that way, if the off tank doesn't grab the Hulk immediately, you just stay in that one spot until he grabs the Hulk. That way, Ratcat is not moving all over the pad. Again, here, just want to keep heavy attack and igneous, heroic / and punctures, just to keep your stam up. And then here's a machine gun again. And it usually goes about 5 times. You can absorb, and you call meteors, and you just do your half moon and block. Always want to call out these. At least if anything, you want to call out meteors, machine gun, and the block. Those are the top 3 things you need to be calling out. You can also call out the cats. Like, hey, there's one left, there's one right, there's one, whichever way. So right here, we actually cut it really close. He hit 12% as soon as he slammed down. So on this part, we have our off tank take pad 1, and then main tank take pad 2. So take that. Now what I could have done is I could have come over here and I was gonna pierce armor him, but I ended up getting void speared. So I took that Hulk and I took the other Hulk, just to make sure that they would both be taunted on me. Well, that's it for the video. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Thanks for your time.